on this live.
Mhm.
Welcome, race fans, to the Homestead 150. This is race number 3 of the Dixon Smoke Barbecue Truck Series chase for the championship here. We got this race and one more for these drivers to try to lock themselves into the top 5 drivers to go for the overall championship at the end of the year here. So right now we got Erica in the booth with me, my colorful commentary. Always with me is David Huckleberry. Beautiful scenes from Homestead, Miami. I'm from Florida, so Homestead is always such a beautiful track, especially when the sunlight goes down. You get those beautiful Florida sunsets. Real quickly here, we've got the point standings showing. This is just the points that are shown right here. One driver that has nothing to worry about with the points, regardless of what happens at this race and the next, is Timmy Holmes. He is locked down with a win at Martinsville. So Timmy Holmes has nothing to worry about. He is locked to Phoenix's last race there. Chad Frankenfield won last week, not a chase driver, so kind of played spoilers. So that's the only person locked in right now is Timothy Holmes. Other drivers to take note of, we have right now in the playoff position, Tate Lytle there in second on points, then Ethan Stanley, Sean Ryan, and in the fourth place there, Levi Zielinski, and fifth. First driver looking out, trying to get his way in, Scott Crump, Dustin Durr, Harrison Talon, Tom Bourne, Zach Evans, Daniel Martinez, Trey Holmes, Alec Ballfans, and Justin Munsell are all the drivers looking to try to see if maybe they can lock themselves in tonight with a victory. Looks like qualifying has just wrapped up. We're going to see. Erica, are you available, or do you need me to do the rundown? I know you're watching the child right now. Looks like maybe me. I'll give you
I
the.
can handle it,
Oh, okay.
actually.
All right. She's gonna try to multitask here. All right.
Oh.
Give me the rundown for tonight's starting field real quickly, if we can, Erica. I'll give it over to you.
Thank you. So starting on pole tonight is Scott Crump, Timmy Holmes in the second position, Tate Lytle third, Ethan Stanley fourth, Tyler Dixon fifth, sixth Zach Evans, Daniel Martinez seventh, eighth Tyler Fodey, ninth Robert Hill Jr., Mark Keeler 10th, Alex Vanderson 11th, Alec Balvans 12th, Ethan Birrell 13th, Cody Harrington 14th, 15th Sean Ryan, 16th Trey Holmes, Josh Freed 17th, 18th Jaden Rasimus. Rolling off in the 19th position, we have Michael Klein, Ray Bracey 20th, Mark Rabilas 21st, Dustin Dewar 22nd, Michael Goodman 23rd, Brent Jones 24th. We have Sam Bootwell 25th, Joshua Hodges 26th, Nick Massey 27th, Michael Hossack 28th, Brody Moore 29th, Jeff Sickles 30th.
I think there was one extra driver, but we didn't show it to him. I think that was in 31st position. That was
I only show 30 gridded.
Harrison Talon. So we're gonna get it over there. There's 100 laps tonight. Stages are lap 20 and lap 40. Yellow flags at the end of the stages and 3 sets of tires. The trucks are rounding around turns 3 and 4 and about to come to the green flag here. Again, this is the third race of the chase, so all these drivers are going to be antsy to try to get the track position early on here. As Scott Crump got the overall pole, the green flag is out. The racing gets good and the good gets racing. We're going to be racing around some palm trees tonight, boys. And we're green flag, and Scott Crump has already got himself out to a very decent lead out there. I raced around Tim earlier in the week as a practice session, and he was by far the strongest. Oh, boy!
Chaos.
Oh, no, chaos in the back. There's at least 20 trucks involved back there. About over half the field is sprung around backwards on the turn 1 and 2. Very slick around 1 and 2. We're going to give it over to Dave here, as we're probably going to have to watch multiple replays of what's going on here.
Yeah, we're going to start off here with Dustin Dewar. He goes down low. He's just trying to avoid it, so he's not in it. Let's move up here and see what we can find with Zach Evans. Zach starts to get a little sideways. I think he might be who started it, and then it just everything clicks up behind him.
A lot of playoff drivers involved there. Zach Evans, Mark Keeler was involved. Alec Ballvaints. You saw Fodey get turned around there with contact there. 66 also got involved. Got a lot of front end damage, blown the engine. He's done for the night. Wow. 28 is also involved. A lot of drivers that qualified up in the top 10. Destroyed 03, 96 got turned around there. I don't know if he stopped it before hitting the wall there. You see Dustin Durr up there. No, that's the 97 there. That's actually Alec Ballvance. Or Alex Vanderson, that got involved there. Ethan Burrell there got involved. One of the favorites tonight with a lot of front end damage as well. Got into Fodey. A lot of contact. You see the one also destroyed. Boy, it's easier to tell you who didn't get involved in this than it was to tell you who did. Wow, they are absolutely smoked. There are so many cars that are just popped engines right there. You see the 96 get turned. Does a decent job of not actually plowing into the main wreck there, so he might have got away with a little bit of a break. But, yeah, on board here, the 03. Yeah, just hops over on the back end of that number 1 truck's bed. That was Dustin Durr that snuck through there. Ray Bracey up there may have gotten a little bit of damage. Definitely got damage there now. Wow. So that was lap 1, turn 1, and a lot of trucks that are already thinking that their night are over with. And maybe possibly their chase hopes.
Trying to see if Balvance stuck through.
Alec Ballvance may have snuck through there, yeah.
I think he's okay. Jeff Sickles is the last one I have tagged. I think he's just going to show up as crash because he stopped on the track, but I think he's clean.
I think he did the right move there because there's nowhere to go. There is absolutely nowhere to go. But drivers are going to allow to come back around here. They're going to have to choose cone. So it's kind of like how it is in real life where they'll get to choose inside or outside for starting position here for the restart. Scott Crump still out front. Timmy Holmes up there. Tate Lytle, Ethan Stanley, Tyler Dixon, Danny Martinez still up there. Alex Vanderson is the start of drivers that may have snuck through without damage or may have just gotten a little bit of damage there. Back then in the 97, we saw him a little sideways there. Sean Ryan over there in the 9. He's in 8th place. Another one of our chase drivers. Trey Holmes still up there. Dustin Durr. So a few of our chase drivers did sneak through this, and that's the important thing is that it didn't ruin all the place drivers. It's still going to be a tight battle going throughout the night because for those drivers that just wrecked, they're going to miss out on potential stage points, 2 potential stage points, and the finish. So, this is the worst time to get knocked out. But real quickly, there was 31 trucks that started tonight's race, and already there's only 19 that are on the lead lap. That's really bad. That was a lot of trucks involved there. That was... What is that? I'm counting about 12 to 15 trucks involved, and a lot of them with 13 that are a lap down, but I'm counting more drivers that might have been involved in that with X's already.
Okay.
So, yeah, kind of a bad start for these guys. I honestly thought that, I did admit that these drivers were going to go hard early on. I just didn't know they were going to go that hard. Well, if you look up at the top, if you're wondering who's chase drivers, how to memorize them, drivers in yellow numbers on the ticker up there are drivers that are looking to try to get in on the chase. The orange one you see there is already locked in. Green are drivers outside the chase right now. But Scott Crump is going to be coming around the field. Pace car is off. He'll be waiting on him for a green flag. Already lap 5 of the race. And Scott Crump takes off. Very well there in front of Tate Lytle. He's going to try to see if he can get back up in front, be able to take a wide arc into Homestead. Always important here at Homestead. These wide arcs are very important because it is such a long turn. These turns are very, very long and wide. So the more you can get a long turn in there, the more speed. That's what's important here at Homestead, is just having those speeds in the middle of the turn. Scott Crump doing a good job. The 6-7 is starting to close up on him, though. See if Trey Holmes or Timmy Holmes is going to be able to have anything for Scott Crump. Scott Crump, when I watched him do the practice race, was just really good on the long run, so he's hoping to just kind of keep himself in position and be able to have a clear track in front of him, and maybe tonight he'll be able to lock himself in. Right now, the first driver looking in is Scott Crump going into the night's race based off of points. You see that line he takes. It's not all the way down to the bottom, but he has a very good arc in and out. Not a lot of tire spin. Doesn't push it in very hard when he gets the turn. Doesn't burn up those tires. That's what's going to be key for tonight. Got a great battle there for 8th place. 3 wide almost back there. As you see drivers starting to fan out. Multiple grooves here if you can get it. You see the 32. Dustin Durr trying to see if he can be able to wrap around the bottom, see if he can get around Tyler Dixon. Now it's single filed out for the majority of our front runners up here. See the 97 taking a way high line up there, running around the top lane, trying to see if he'll have the momentum. As he will have that straightaway speed, is able to get to the outside of the 33, and just clears himself going into turn 3. Now dives back down to the bottom. So good pass there for Alex Vanderson.
He seems to like the high line at just about every track.
Yeah, he does. Tonight there is a lane there. That's what Homestead's so good, and that's why it made such a good championship race, is because it's all up to the driver to find the lane that fits him best, and there is speed everywhere on this racetrack. Well, after the calamity of lap 1, turn 1, it's definitely calmed down a bit as these drivers try to find their tempo going into this, because it is a very high tempo race. You definitely want to start to hit your marks every lap, because if not, you start to lose a little bit of speed to the guys in front of you as you start seeing these gaps already form only 5 laps into the run, which most mile-and-a-half tracks you still see them on top of each other. You'll see these front runners start to take off with their consistency.
Gerald, what's it going to take for like drivers like Fodey and Ethan Burrell and Alec Balvins to get back on the lead lap, since they got caught out because of where the yellow was?
With Tyler Fodey and Ethan Burrell, their biggest issue is damage, and this is a track where it's a very aero-reliant track. So having the damage is probably worse right now than them being a lap down. Right now, they're just battling. We know that caution will be here in about 8 laps. They're not going to be collecting anyone else before then a lap down. So right now, it's just a battle of all the drivers a lap down. So
is there a lucky dog on the stage point or stage yellow?
Oh yeah, at the end of the stages, there will be lucky dogs awarded, just like any other caution. If a caution came out now, there would be a lucky dog awarded then as well. So they know a caution is imminent, and they know what lap it is, so that provides good racing. But right now, Tyler Fodey leads that battle, but trying to work their way through some of the slower traffic that's a lead lap. You see the 40 and the 37 battling hard. They both want to be able to get back on the lead lap early here. Neither one of them is running for points, so neither one of them feels too bad about maybe taking it from the other driver. You see Fodey desperately trying to see if he can get that bottom lane working, but Ethan Burrell might have a run on him. Again, this is a battle for the lucky dog position when and if the caution comes out, maybe before lap 20 or on lap 20. You see now Tyler Fodey taking a higher lane. So yeah, as you can see, I mean, it's not just Alex Vanderson who was running that high lane, but it looks like Daniel Martinez, who's put a lot of laps here in practice, is starting to run him back down. Daniel Martinez is going to be one to watch. I watched him do a lot of laps of practice here and had a lot of good speed. So we'll see if he's able to use that to good use and see if he can be able to gain some very important points. Again, points are awarded for the top 10 positions in the stage. 10 points for first and on down to 1 point for 10th place. So there are points awarded. We know at least a couple drivers will make it into the final 5 locked-in positions at the end of the year for race. And we know a few of those, at least 2, as of right now, will make it in on points. So points are important even in this stage. See, Scott Crump has just got a good line. No one really was able to do anything other than just stay in his draft, which is going to help them stay up to him. But I feel as the tires start to wear out, I think Scott Crump will probably start to leave these guys a little bit. As you see, the 56 gets sideways coming out of the corner and is going to lose a little bit of time. He may lose a position there to Ethan Stanley. Ethan Stanley decided to stay behind Tate Lytle there, but boy howdy, coming out of turn 4 there, he got dead sideways. There's a hill coming out of 4 when you go around the bottom, and if you hit that just wrong, the back of the truck gets all upset and he wants to turn you sideways. He's lucky he didn't just spin it out in front of the whole field there. See Sean Ryan in front of the 32. Seems to have gotten around there of, no, he's just in front of Dustin Durr. Dustin Durr is starting to track him down, actually. And as I expected, up front, Scott Crump has already started to put a little bit of a gap now between him and the other drivers. To about over half a second now, and increasing as laps go forward. But he is on the last lap, so none of these drivers have to worry too much after this lap, as we are on lap 19 or 20?
19.
19.
We just closed the pits.
2 laps around, and then we'll be able to rack these drivers back up. Well, at the end of stage 1 here, we'll give it over to Erica once again, where we'll have our Dine and Dash Challenge question, where you can win $10. It's a Dine and Dash Grubhub Challenge. You get a $10 Eat Grubhub card, and at that point, you can be able to have a nice lunch for Monday if you so choose. So stay tuned for that, as Erica will give us a question. You have until the end of stage 2 to put your question or your answer down to find out the race if you're the lucky winner. Good battle going on for second. Scott Crump has now found himself very comfortably out front. As we go into the final turn here in 3 and 4, Tate Lytle trying to gain one more position, and he might. The 67 dropped up the racetrack and lost a lot of momentum, and Tate Lytle at the line will be ahead of Timmy Holmes and gains at least one more position going into this round of pit stops. Well, that was a good first stage there after we got rid of all the wrecking. And Tyler Fodey, if you're wondering, will be the driver with the Lucky Dog Award awarded to him, so he will be back on the lead lap. So the top 10 are as follows. Scott Crump got first here, and Tate Lytle second. Timmy Holmes, as we saw, got third. Ethan Stanley fourth. Alex Vanderson is in fifth. Daniel Martinez, good points day so far for him, in sixth. Sean Ryan in seventh. Dustin Durr in eighth. Tyler Dixon in ninth. Trey Holmes will take the final point for the stage 1. Again, all those drivers are desperately trying to collect those points as they go. And after they saw a few of their playoff drivers wrecked in turn 1, they just need to make sure that they collect all the points they can. So pace car is back out in front of Scott Crump. They'll be going down pit road. And I'm going to hand it over to Dr. Erica Campbell, and she's going to give us our Dine and Dash challenge for tonight's event.
All right, so since there's a lot going on, we don't want to make it too complicated this evening. We will just ask for who you think will be tonight's victor. So who will finish first in the race?
Oh, there you go. That's a very good question, because we saw 4 drivers. All relatively competitive there early on, and they were battling hard. So there's 4 drivers that are very difficult to choose from. But again, if we have another incident like turn 1, it may throw all that into out the window of who may be the favorite. But yeah, go ahead, put it down into the chat. All you have to do is just put a driver's name into the chat before the end of stage 2 as to who you think will win tonight. Scott Crump, Tate Lytle, Trey Holmes, Ethan Stanley, Alex Vanderson. You got to make sure you put Alex Vanderson. You better know how to spell his entire name. It's the longest one in the field. But yeah, we just make sure you put the driver's name down into the chat, and you have a chance to win $10 eGrubHub card. So easy way to just enter in for a chance of having your lunch paid for tomorrow. I don't know. I know the driver I would pick for tonight. What about you, David? Who do you feel is the strongest out there so far?
Oh, well, I think I'm going to take Tate. Probably would be. Feels like he's maybe back on. Yeah, Tate Lytle. I think he's back on a streak.
Trying to get a second truck win of his history.
Yep.
I don't know. I'm sticking with Scott Crump. I watched him. He was very good tonight. Erica, do you have a driver that you're looking at so far?
I have to agree with you, Gerald. But I also think we should probably take a few minutes to acknowledge our sponsors if we haven't done so already.
Absolutely. Good segue there, Erica. I'll give it over to you for our sponsor shout-outs for tonight.
Yeah, so again, we have Powerhouse Recycling, which strives to offer the highest level of customer service in the industry for each load processed time and time again. Attainable account representatives, prompt and on-time pickups, and customized recycling solutions keeps Powerhouse Recycling as a North Carolina market leader in customer service. We also have Blue Egg Marketing, the marketing department for small businesses. We're your marketing department. And finally, C2 Freight offers complete freight management services. They're ready to meet your needs today as well as your changing needs in the future.
I appreciate that, Erica. Yeah, thank you to all of our sponsors. We definitely appreciate your added support to this series, as it allows us to be able to be in the broadcast booth and to provide all the entertainment that you see tonight. And we'll have it again for 2 more nights before the end of the season. So make sure you show up to the next few races. We already got some people answering in the chat here. One person in there says Ethan Stanley is going to get the win for sure. He wants him to get him some lunch for tomorrow. So Ethan Stanley was definitely one of the 4 drivers that I was looking at a lot of speed there. Definitely was looking late there to have some long run speed. Almost passed Tate Lytle there in the long run. So Ethan Stanley for sure has a chance to try to see if not only if he can get you some lunch, but maybe lock himself into the chase here. He would love to do that early on, because next week we're going to be at Talladega. And Talladega is a wild one for sure. There's going to be a lot of sleepless nights for some of these drivers that are not too confident with how their playoff has gone so far. So tonight they're going to want to lock themselves in or get as many points as they can, because Talladega is anybody's chance to win. So look forward to seeing how that all plays out next week. But here tonight, Tate Lytle looks like he got the lead in the pit stalls there. So he got around Scott Crump on pits. So we'll watch Tate Lytle bring us around 3 and 4, and we'll wait for him to take off. And he does so just now. Scott Crump actually did not have a great restart, was not completely up to the side of him. So that gave Tate Lytle very easy of it going into turn 1 and 2. And is now going to be able to try to see if he can set some distance, get away from the drafting there. Oh, the 67! Timmy Holmes got loose there. That was exactly where we saw the big pile up the last time they had new tires. So new tires are definitely going to be something we have to watch with these drivers as they get extremely loose in turns 1 and 2 on these restarts. So you see him already losing a couple positions. Now Alex Vanderson's in front of him. He's going to try to see if he can duck back underneath him going into turn 1 and 2. See if he can be able to get that position back. As you see Scott Crump now trying to catch the toe behind Tate Lytle and see if he can gain back up. Alex Vanderson, we saw early on, running that high lane to perfection and made a lot of time and speed, and now he's back up there once again, trying to see if he can take that high lane back up to the front. Good battle there for 4th place, as you see Ethan Stanley underneath Timmy Holmes. Timmy Holmes is going to have the run off the straightaway, but Ethan Stanley is going to try to stay side by side going to turn 1, trying to take over positions where he can, as Daniel Martinez up at that high side, following at Alex Vanderson up there, trying to see if he can be able to pick off some stragglers. As you see a car go into the inside wall back there. It was a blue one. I'm not sure exactly who that was, but someone
like maybe Goodman?
Oh, Goodman. Robert Hill Jr. just put into the chat he picks Goodman to win. And Goodman just slammed the inside wall. So that's on you. That's not a commentary curse. All right, Robert Hill, that's on you. But good racing still up here. That did not bring out a caution, as we still have some hard racing following behind Scott Crump and Tate Lytle back there for 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Again, we will have another stage, another caution at the end of lap 40, so it's only another 10 laps from here for these drivers to have to go for, as you see Ethan Stanley really trying to get that low line working underneath Timmy Holmes to see if he can be able to make up that position. Alex Vanderson is still searching for a groove as to which he feels more comfortable with, and he definitely has been the driver that has searched more than anybody else tonight.
Robert Hill just told Goodman that he jinxed him. I didn't realize Robert's in the race and sending chat messages.
You can do that if you're in the race. You can still be able to vote for yourself if you feel confident. If you feel so confident and jinx yourself, I will make sure to embarrass you on the chat if you do so. So yeah, if you're in the race and you want to vote on another driver on yourself, go ahead. There's no discrepancies into the picks for tonight. So again, tonight's question for a $10 Grubhub e-gift card is going to be the driver you think will win tonight. You have 8 more laps to be able to put down your answer. It cannot be a repeating answer of someone else's. You have to be able to come up with an original one. So,
great way to put a hex on a competitor.
Great way to put
their name in there.
Either put a hex on them or they win you a lunch.
Yeah, win-win.
Be one or the other. Yeah, it's a win-win situation. If you don't like a driver, go ahead and say they're going to win. If they win, they got you a lunch. You see a great battle back there with Daniel Martinez and Sean Ryan. I figured out how to say Sean's name. I will never make a mistake. Because
so proud of you.
is not Shane. Sean is on it. And he is on the ball tonight. It's lame, but that's how I'll remember it. He is on the ball tonight as he is underneath Daniel Martinez in 3 and 4, trying to get that 6th place position from him. On board here with Daniel Martinez. Trying to get it. Oh, never mind. John Ryan. John Ryan here as he takes the middle lane there. Can't see, but he has to be very careful he doesn't slide up into Daniel Martinez. Daniel Martinez with the speed down the straightaway. You see the advantages of that high lane right there shown with that added speed on the straightaways. Ooh, but he is a little loose tonight, isn't he? That 33 got sideways coming out of 3 and 4. John Ryan tried to take another dive bomb, look underneath him. As you see, great racing up in front as well. We got 5 laps left in this stage where points will be awarded once again. So John Ryan trying to get one more point to his name to help him with the playoff run on another playoff driver in front of him. So it'd be a double win there if you could do it. Take a point away from a competitor and give it to yourself. Good 3-way battle for 3rd. These 3 black trucks right here have been on top of each other this entire run. And all 3 different lanes, 3 different ways to go about doing it showed right there. So you see the 97 trying to take the high lane. I did that. Now, this may work for Alex Vanderson early on, but when I did the practice race with these drivers, the high lane was definitely an advantage early on. But boy, does it wear out those tires, especially that right front. It burns it up because you go all the way up to the racetrack like that. And it may not matter for the end of the stage because it might be too quick, but we'll have to see if that's going to affect them in a longer run after this stage, because they will have a 60-lap run on the final stage. So, good chance to see how these drivers drive on the long runs here. See Alex Vanderson right up against that wall. Now starting to get a little bit of a gap. Only 3 laps left at the end of the stage. Again, you have 3 laps. Just put a driver's name that you think will win, and you can win a $10 Grubhub gift card or something of equal value. If you just want to pay about $10, just as long as you get yourself something nice and treat yourself for picking the best driver for tonight's race. We don't care what you get. Sushi, not gas station sushi. Get the good stuff. Go to Publix or something like that.
Is there such thing? That's horrifying.
What, there? Gas station sushi?
Oh yes,
Yeah.
I've seen it.
Oh yes. Oh, I've
Okay,
seen it
Gerald
too.
must love me more than that. 'Cause he
I've never
doesn't
been
get
brave
that.
enough to eat it, but I've seen it.
We don't know if they're fish. There's something. Here we come with just a few laps left. Tate Lytle has been doing a fantastic job staying in front of Scott Crump. So you may have picked a good driver there, David. I thought Scott Crump would have gotten him by now with the long run, but Tate Lytle having that fresh air advantage being out front has been a deciding factor. He will have 1 lap around to finish off tonight's stage, trying to take a win away from Scott Crump. Tate Lytle and Scott Crump. What's so interesting about their battle is that they are both battling to get in. Tate Lytle is in on points right now, and Scott Crump is not, but a win negates any of that. So we'll see tonight which one is able to produce the W. As you see, Alex Vanderson at the line, try to get a point from Scott Crump. Came oh so close with a very late charge there. So Alex Vanderson had a good little dash there at the end. He almost gained a point on Scott Crump. So stage winner tonight, Tate Lytle will walk away with 10 points for this stage. Scott Crump with 9, Alex Vanderson 8 points. Timmy Holmes will walk away with 6 points tonight. Daniel Martinez an extra 5 to his name. Sean Ryan 4, Dustin Durr 3, Trey Holmes 2, and I miscounted somewhere because I miscounted somewhere. Trey Holmes is an 8, so he will receive 3 points. Tyler Dixon 2 points. Ethan Stanley 1 point. I don't know where in there I missed it, David, but I missed it.
I don't know. I wasn't paying attention. Sorry.
That's for the best.
Probably not too many forward, Gerald. I think you're okay.
Well, what we didn't focus on was a lot of drivers stayed out that last stage to try to get the wave around, and they did. A lot of drivers were able to get back onto the lead lap. One of those was Ethan Burrell, who lost the free Lucky Dog battle with Tyler Fodey the last time we had a stage, and he stayed out at the end of that. We did not notate that. He was able to at least stay on the lead lap. He was almost 23, 24 seconds behind the leader, so in danger of going back down a lap, able to do just enough to stay out front. So that now will put us with 19 drivers on the lead lap. So you see pit stops going on over there in the corner. See if where all shakes up. Last time we saw Tate Lytle take the lead on pit road, and that was the deciding factor to get him out front. This time around, Tate Lytle still able to get out front. Scott Crump is going to at least be able to retain the second place position there right in front of Alex Vanderson. That came so close to passing him on pit road just as he did at the end of that stage. Well, I'm going to give it back over to Erica if you're ready. Dr. Erica Campbell, are you with me? You want to give us another sponsor shout out?
I would love to. So again, we have Powerhouse Recycling. They believe in quality customer service before, during, and after the processing of a client's materials. Blue Egg Marketing. Small business owners, Blue Egg is your biggest fan. Constraints catalyze creativity. And C2 Freight also offers electronic data interchange or EDI services, which allow shippers to keep close electronic tabs on their shipments throughout the freight movement process. For more information about EDI services or to discuss your needs for other specialized services, please contact C2 Freight.
I appreciate that once again, Erica. So far, I'm still not really certain who is the favorite. We have a few favorites so far. Tate Lytle, Alex Vanderson, Scott Crump. All those drivers looked very, very, very strong. I said Alex Vanderson got beat by Scott Crump coming out of pit road, but that is actually not the case. Alex Vanderson gains another position on pit road, and Scott Crump once again has only lost positions on pit road, so he needs to figure out what's going on. So
blame that pit crew.
Yeah, that pit crew definitely did not help him on that one for sure. Yeah, I mean, he lost the lead to Tate Lytle. Now he's lost second place to Alex Vanderson. So Scott Crump needs to try to figure out his, and he has the preferred pit stall too. There's no excuse on that, Scott. You're gonna have to try to straighten that up if he wants to try to see if he can lock himself in tonight. These drivers will have to at least pit one more time for fuel. The drivers, there's 60 laps left, and there's right around enough fuel to make it about 40-45 laps on fuel. So these drivers will 100% have to go about pit. So we'll have to find out when they decide to go down pit road once again.
So here was my Tate Lytle theory, my rationalization for picking it.
There was.
From what I've heard, he doesn't like Talladega. So I thought he would go for the win tonight so that I have to worry about points at Talladega. That was how I liked it.
I don't know how much of it is that he doesn't like Talladega, or that Talladega and Daytona don't like Tate Lytle. Because Tate Lytle always leaves there pushing the escape button because he never finishes those races. So, yeah, Tate Lytle's team trying to see if tonight he could just forego that conclusion and just lock himself in tonight. He is pretty high up there on points regardless, and having two really strong stage runs here definitely helped him try to create a buffer. But still, having a 100% lock-in of a win would definitely help his situation. As green flag is back out, Tate Lytle takes off very well, and you see Scott Crump now battling back there. He's now found himself in fourth place. That is what happens when you have bad pit stops. You find yourself now mirrored back in a lot of traffic as he tried to duke in front of the 33 car of Daniel Martinez, and Daniel Martinez made a bobble lifting to try to allow Scott Crump to slide up, and it got him sideways and turned around. Daniel Martinez, one of our chase drivers, now mirrored back far into the back of the pack and may have picked up a little damage from the inside wall from him. So Scott Crump, trying desperately to get up to the field, kind of made a very erratic movement there that definitely upset Daniel Martinez's drive. As you see these drivers starting to scatter and trying to get back to their positions now. A lot of them now have a good feel for what this track produces and may have a line that they prefer. So drivers will start to have a little bit more consistency, but there will still be drivers back there that will be struggling. This is definitely a track that if you miss it, if you just don't have the exact line, you will struggle hard. She sees hard racing there. I got sideways Sean Ryan got really sideways, and a driver we haven't really talked about too much other than that one replay where he was turned around backwards as Tyler Fodey finds himself into the 6th position underneath the 32 of Dustin Durr, trying to pick up that position, or does actually. He's actually in front of him now. So Tyler Fodey now finds himself up into the 5th position and trying to work his way up, and that's with damage. I am very shocked at the speed he's carrying with the damage on the truck, just for the mere fact that how much aero plays a factor. And you see, there's barely letterings on the side of the vehicle, and the spoilers all messed up. That is a lot of damage. See Trey Holmes now in front of Dustin Durr, and Dustin Durr ducks underneath Trey Holmes, trying to get him into turn 1. Oh, they're really close. Both not wanting to go all the way down the racetrack, but both wanting that preferred line of that center section of the track. On board with Dustin Durr here. So he tries to figure out a way around Trey Holmes. Trey Holmes right now behind Tyler Fodey. Now with Tyler Fodey not having a single truck in front of him to gain the drag on, how will his truck handle? You see him got around those drivers fairly quickly, but as soon as he did, he lost a lot of speed. But we got a battle up there for the lead, and already taking it. You saw it kind of on board with Dustin Durr. 67 of Timmy Holmes dove it underneath the 56 of Tate Lytle in turns 1 and 2, and was able to clear himself for the lead. So our first actual pass under green for the lead. The 67 did just that and passed with a very strong. No one picked him. No one even said anything about Timmy Holmes. We saw him getting loose and sideways and messing up, and no one really thought he had the speed, but he's figured it out. He's locked in. He's got nothing to worry about, so he figured out how to get around here fairly quickly, and so now in the 1st position.
He's going to make everybody else play for points. Take away the wins.
He doesn't want anyone to have a sleep or have a sound sleep night going into Talladega. He wants to be the only one locked in. I can understand that. You don't want your competitors already feeling comfortable and practicing for Phoenix. That's probably what he's been doing, is practicing for Phoenix, knowing that he's locked in. He has nothing to worry about these next weeks. But you never really want to start practicing for something that you aren't guaranteed. So, oh, you see Tate Lytle get a little bit of the wall. Yeah, a little bit of the wall going down the back straightaway, trying to get all he can. Strong run, strong performance there from Timmy Holmes. See Tate Lytle now trying to dive it in there. So far, a 4-way battle for the top position. Strong runs for all of them. Timmy Holmes, Tate Lytle, Scott Crump, and Alex Vanderson. All with really good runs so far. A little farther back, we got a battle for 10th place, a good side-by-side battle there. As they go down the front straightaway, the 25 there. Joshua Freed having a very good night. Started back in 17th, now finds himself in the trying to take the 10th position over Ethan Stanley. And that could be the only side-by-side battle. Everything's kind of strung out now. You see how much Tyler Fodey is slowing down that pack back there. Tyler Fodey now finds himself over 3 seconds back from the leaders. As soon as he was able to get out in front of Trey Holmes and Tyler Dixon and Dustin Durr, he is putting the handbrake on with all that damage on that truck. These drivers are finding it a hard time to get around him because the handle is still there, but the straightaway speed is lacking severely. As you see right here on board Tyler Fodey, you see him. They gain him on the straightaway, but they lose a little bit in the center of the turn because of how good his truck is handling. And then, Trey Holmes got loose. Oh, he went all the way down to the bottom. He may lose a couple positions here to Tyler Dixon and Dustin Durr. Trying desperately to try to see if he can figure out a way keep up the speed in the center of the turn of Tyler Fodey and ended up getting loose there. Just in that one lap, Tyler Fodey lost a half a second to the leaders. So, very slow for these drivers being stuck behind. That's what happens. I told you there's a lot of necessary need for that aero. With how these speeds are kept up all the way around the racetrack at high, you're not braking it very much. It's just a lot of aero through the turns. These straightaways are very important to have that aerodynamics.
Really kind of making it a four-way battle for the win and kind of a block.
Oh, he's definitely making it a four-way battle. 4 drivers are all within a second of the leader. And then you go back to almost 4 seconds back to Tyler Fodey. But we have a battle for the lead. Once again, shaping up. Tate Lytle. Oh, he's so close to the back end. The 67 not giving him a lot of room. Not wanting to get off the preferred line there. And he almost pinched Tate Lytle too much there. Did just enough to be able to retain the position. Tate Lytle back on the back bumper, on board with him. And you get to see these drivers up here are so smooth. But Tate Lytle just has a little bit of momentum with that draft. Is able to get underneath Timmy Holmes on the straightaways here. Now Timmy Holmes back out front. Right there is where all those 4 drivers tend to prefer to put their truck at. And see Timmy Holmes get a little bit loose there, coming out of turn, lose a little momentum. Tate Lytle now going to be underneath them, going side by side in turn 3 and 4. Up the racetrack they go a little bit. Is he going to be able to stay to the outside? Both sideways. You see Tate Lytle get very sideways and lose some speed there. That allowed Scott Crump to enter the battle for the lead. Now it's getting very interesting. Now this is where we'll see which driver has the long run, as we have now entered the longest portion of a green flag run. So these are untreaded territories for some of these drivers, as they are farther along on these tires than they have on any set so far tonight. So you see Scott Crump now looking to try to see if he can pass Tate Lytle going in turn 1 and 2. Stays onto the back bumper of him. Oh, he may have touched him there. Not really looking to try to go side by side into that turn and burn up his tires. Decided to stay behind. Oh, Scott Crump gets loose. And you see back there, battle for 5th place there. It looks like Tyler Dixon trying to get the outside rolling, and Tyler Fodey deciding that they have stayed long enough and lost enough time to the leaders to where he's going to try to now pass for the lead and gets loose. Oh, is he going to get into 32? Oh, he saves it. Oh, Tyler Fodey holding these drivers up so much right now. As you see, Tyler Dixon lose a few positions there because of that. Why they're still battling back up to the front again, because it is tight now. 4 cars are all right on top of each other. Alex Vanderson deciding to take the high lane and get away from the train on that middle groove and try to see if he can work that high lane in. Now on the back bumper, Scott Crump. 1, 2, 3, 4, all within just a half a second from the leader. They're all within 0.3 of a second from the leader. They're on top of each other 24 laps into this stage. As now Tyler Dixon, or Scott Crump, having to try to give the lane to the 97 and is now trying to pass the 56, all behind our leader there. So many preferred lanes here at Homestead. 3 wide going down the front straightaway. Alex Vanderson on the very bottom. 3 wide going into turns 1 and 2. And it looks like Tate Lytle takes the very high lane. Scott Crump may lose out on both positions there. And Tate Lytle may have the run down the back straightaway to clear all of them. And now try to see if he can get back to the back bumper of the leader. As Alex Vanderson now hooks the bottom and looks to slide in front of the 90 truck. Oh, and then Scott Crump is going to try to look back underneath him. Gets a little loose. I doubt he'll be able to move past him. These drivers are on the very edge of looseness. They're pushing it as hard as they possibly can.
Lap traffic coming into.
They will be, yes, that is correct. They're coming up on some lap traffic, but with so many grooves, I don't know if it's going to become too big of an obstacle as if it was Martinsville or a track that was single lane. Here we're seeing so many lanes play out, but you see the 90 truck once again going to battle with Alex Vanderson. Wow, the leader made a last-second dodge underneath Mark Keeler there in the 08. Our top two drivers able to get a little bit of a distance from that third-place battle as it continues to go on with Scott Crump and Alex Vanderson as they now find themselves past the lap truck. Alex Vanderson is trying desperately to find a lane that works. So once again, now Timmy Holmes finds himself out front where the air is clean, making it as difficult as possible to allow the 56 there have any clean air for the front of his nose for the turn in. And you see the 56 just the back end just getting loose, trying desperately to put the throttle down without any kind of aerodynamics. Diving in underneath the 97. Oh, they're so close. They almost touch as they go all the way down to the bottom of the racetrack and sliding out of the turns, out of turns 4. Fantastic racing going on between these 4 drivers, giving it all they've got. But we still will have a pit stop that will have to take place at some time. When do you take your tires? As you see Tate Lytle, literally the back end coming out of it, trying to put that throttle down as hard as he can, having the speed. He's gonna dive it into turns 3. Is he gonna slide up in front of the 67? He's cleared himself. He more likely will here. 97, the 67 there, Timmy Holmes, unable to get the truck to stay onto the middle lane there, slid up, lost that lead now to Tate Lytle. So now you'll find Tate Lytle back out front. So Timmy Holmes now, we'll see if he can do what Tate Lytle did, follow in behind, learn a thing or two, maybe be able to save enough of a tire to be able to pass back for the lead, or at least keep in tow enough till the next pit stop. Still, our top 4 drivers all within 1 second of the lead. Well, folks, I sure hope you're enjoying this because these 4 drivers are giving it their all to win tonight. I'm sure by the end of the night they'll know they did everything they possibly could. But there is still 30 laps left in this race to decide it, and there is still not a clear-cut person that I can put a good feeling towards that will come away with the victory tonight. You are starting to see, though, Tate Lytle starting to put a little bit of gapping on himself between him and those other drivers. And, of course, back there, Tyler Fodey still playing the roadblock for drivers such as Trey Holmes and Dustin Durr. Wow, I didn't even see that pass. It was so quickly. Scott Crump already around Timmy Holmes for second place and is now going to try to see if he can catch up to the leader there and see if he could be able to keep in tow. 67, Timmy Holmes has fallen off the cliff with his tires because he is dropping back very quickly here. He will probably be looking to pit relatively shortly here. They'll be coming around with 26 laps left to go. I would suspect we will be probably seeing some drivers deciding to try to pit shortly. So you see the 97 once again wrapping around that high lane. Yes, we have a driver right now. Man, David, it's like I'm good at this or something. Not really, but I can I can see into the mind of a driver. As you see some of our drivers, Michael Goodman, some of the drivers that were struggling, as you would suspect, that would want to try to get tires immediately. Tyler Dixon, another one of those drivers that came in and get some tires. Daniel Martinez on the radio, he's coming down as well. He's really far back there from that spin. Well, the question is, when is our top four going to come in? Which one? Once one comes in, I believe all the others will come in as well. A driver that is going to need to come in fairly shortly, it's either going to be Timmy Holmes or Alex Vanderson. Both those drivers have started to lose pace with Scott Crump and Tate Lytle. And as I said so, the 67 Timmy Holmes is coming down pit road now to try to see if he can be able to leapfrog in front of the leaders. I can predict these things, can't I, Dave?
You're brilliant. My lottery ticket later, too.
No, that requires luck. I don't have that. I'm just all talent.
And modesty. Don't forget your modesty.
Oh, yeah, pure modesty. Yes, I live by a modest tone, you know. But Timmy Holmes right now coming down, taking his tires, so trying to just make sure he's doing it without any hiccups, without any mistakes, just in and out as smooth as possible to use those tires to their greatest advantage, which is to try to leapfrog some of them. As you see another driver down pit road, Tate Lytle, our leader, he's decided to come down. I told you, as soon as one comes down, they would all predictively come down to try to take that advantage away from the one that comes in earliest. So the only one of the top four that has not pitted yet is Scott Crump. As Tate Lytle now gets his sets of tires, we'll see how much one lap played an advantage to Timmy Holmes. As we'll watch Tate Lytle come out of this little apron section here and back onto the track. We'll find out where Timmy Holmes was. Timmy Holmes was about a second behind Tate Lytle, and looks like he might get him coming out of the back straightaway. He does. So Timmy Holmes now back out front. So right there, you see about a second and a half is the advantage of new tires to old on the track. As you a classic example right there is the 67 able to get around Tate Lytle to now find himself back out front of the field. Another driver that's in now is Scott Crump. He will be 2 laps newer tires than Timmy Holmes. But the thing of that is, he's going to have enough time. We're coming to 22 laps to go. Tyler Fodey coming down, take some tires as well. Now we have Dustin Durr out in front of the field. There will probably be a couple drivers that try to stretch it out as far as they possibly can, but that will only be for another about 4 to 5 laps at most that these drivers can possibly make it on fuel. So not too much longer, you'll have all of them making that stop. But our 4 drivers that were battling for the lead are all back on the lead lap, and they've taken their last set, so they're not going to be coming down pit road at any point now. It's what they've got is what they've got to the end of the race. See Dustin Durr there out front. Came in tonight. Not bad in points. He came in tonight 7th overall in points. So he's looking to try to see if he can leapfrog some of these drivers. But he will need to pit at least one more time tonight. So he's going to hope not to lose too many positions. He's probably open for a caution, as that would definitely play to his benefit. So going back there, we'll see Timmy Holmes and Tate Lytle starting to battle back there. You see Michael Hosack in second. Timmy Holmes there is the driver with the freshest tires. He is in right now 8th position in front of Tate Lytle.
There's Easton Stanley sitting in 7th. He came in on lap 69. Can he make it to the end?
If he came in on lap 69, yes, he can make it all the way. It's going to be, he'll be perfect. Yeah, he's fine.
So he will assume the lead, but he's going to have to hold off Timmy Holmes.
I don't think he's even going to be able to assume the lead because he's not in the lead right now, and he's about to be passed. Yeah, he's about to be passed by the 67 here. Whoa, got a little loose there underneath him. So 67 is going to be passing him, and this is still not a battle for the lead right now. This is a battle for position for the 7th position. So Ethan Stanley loses the 7th position, and now is going to lose 8th position to Tate Lytle. So there are still drivers out on track that have yet to pit. Drivers such as Dustin Durr, Michael Posak, Brent Jones, and Ethan Burrell. Interesting drivers, as well as Robert Hill Jr. and Alec Baldwin. So a lot of drivers have yet to pit that are hoping that a late race caution may play a favor to them, as some of them have some damage, and that might be their only hope to try to get it back up to the front of the field. See Brent Jones having a very good night, very quiet night. We haven't talked a lot about Brent Jones. He finds himself in the 3rd place in a very clean truck. Michael Hozak in the 24. Our Canadian driver, or Canadian friend, in 2nd. Dustin Durr, damage on the side of his truck, all beat to heck and out front leading. But they will have to pit here within a couple laps, if I had to predict, just a couple laps. Oh, Harrison Talon, the 51.
Going for a ride.
He saves it. No, he doesn't. But it was down low enough that did not cause a caution. So he will continue, but I think he called it done for him. So he is now 9. No, he's still out there. He's 9 laps down. So I'm not sure. He must have fixed some damage with a wreck we haven't seen. A really good battle heating up now with Tate Lytle and Timmy Holmes. I believe they're just within a couple car lengths from each other. This will be a battle for the lead in the late run here. As you see the 67 get loose coming out of the turn. Tate Lytle will have a run down the back straightaway. Is he going to try to make a maneuver underneath them? They are coming up on some slower traffic still. The 66 there, they're going to take it to the outside. Oh, it's a battle for the high side. Tate Lytle takes the outside. He squeezes in and is able to get to the outside.
Oh, flash traffic.
Oh, he got pinched and he ended up putting Micah Keeler into the wall coming down the front stretch. Oh, Tate Lytle will not be happy that he got put into that position there, as he will now look to the inside of the 67. Going to try to make another attempt to pass. Is going to dive it in there and slide back up in front of the 67. He has about 1 lap fresher tires as they come around Ethan Burrell for another position. 67 back to the inside of Tate Lytle going down the front straightaway. Is going to be able to pull up alongside with him, side by side in turns 1 and 2. Is he going to try to produce a slight job maneuver? And he will. He now clears himself in front of Tate Lytle. All this battling, and they're still not technically the leaders yet. Tate Lytle back underneath. This is a dogfight at its greatest right here. These two drivers swapping the lead, each one taking the run that they get on the high side to produce another passing maneuver. As you see, Tate Lytle, is he going to try to dive it in there? Oh, they make a little contact going into turn 1, and Tate Lytle will now be able to have a very great advantage over the 67 because it took all the speed away from Timmy Holmes. And these drivers have to be careful they don't lose too much time, because there are drivers with fresher tires behind them. But Scott Crump now finds himself about 3 seconds behind, so he's going to need a caution to try to be able to gain that gappage between him and them. But we've only got 11 laps left, and that's just, it's not a lot of time left for Scott Crump and Alex Vanderson. Still out front. They must have been saving from the get-go. Dustin Durr, Michael Hozak are the 2 last drivers on the long fuel run right now. But they are only within a few seconds of the leaders being caught rapidly. As you see them catching right now up to Michael Hosak right there on the outside lane. 4 is one of those drivers on the old tires who have yet to pit. They will pass him for position.
Yeah, it should just take him a couple laps to get to Dustin Dewar.
So now Tate Lytle has some very clear sailing behind him as his closest competitor is now having to try to battle through the traffic, not as efficiently as Tate Lytle had just done. So Tate Lytle now finds himself with about a second gapping between him and Timmy Holmes. The only thing that will ruin his night so far would be a yellow trying to lock himself in tonight for the final 5 positions in the chase. He came in tonight with about a 18-point gap over the cutoff line, so he had a pretty decent gapping. But again, they're going into Talladega next, and anything can happen at Talladega. Doing a back screening here of Dustin Dewar, so you can see how quickly Tate Lytle is catching up to him. And in this turn, wow, the power move, the speed difference right there is Tate Lytle very quickly makes short work of Dustin Dewar into turn 3 and 4. Now with lap 7, Tate Lytle finds himself solely out front and pulling away. Well, you might have been right, David. I was right on a lot of things tonight, but I was mistaken on the speed.
I'm not cashing the check yet.
Well, you're not getting the check.
Just a figure of speech.
You told me who you were picking. You didn't put it in the chat. You got to read the fine lines there.
Oh, not that one. I wasn't worried about that.
Oh, okay.
It was just a figure of speech.
All right.
Count my chickens. Is that better? I count my chickens.
Well, I don't know about chickens, but I know one thing. Tate Lytle is just putting down some fast lap times. I mean, really fast lap times right now. He now finds himself well over second place. Timmy Holmes, before the end of this race here, will have a hard time trying to keep both Alex Vanderson and Scott Crump behind him. They are five laps to go in the end of this stage. You see the 97 trying to get that high lane wrapped around once again, trying to see if he can be able to get that momentum on his side. He is going to be the inside of the 67. Makes quick work of Timmy Holmes. Slides now in front of him to get that second place, and Scott Crump now finds himself very quickly into the third place, now trying to see if he can take battle for second to at least gain as many points he can tonight and try to see if he can get in front of Alex Vanderson. Well, this time around, Tate Lytle will be coming to 3 laps to go. Only 14 drivers on the lead lap right now. And you see on board here the big gap difference between him and the leader coming here to take the 3 laps to go mark. Quite a bit of gap. That might be, unless if there's an issue with Tate Lytle or a caution, I don't see how they can possibly be able to catch up with that gap. Big shout out to Dustin Dewar. We saw him at the beginning. This is a green flag run for this whole stage. We forgot to mention that there hasn't been a caution for contact since lap 1. It has been green flag. Well, they took out about half the field. So they got all their carnage out at the beginning. But we haven't had contact for caution for the entire race except for lap 1. So very clean racing once they got going. Just turn 1 calamity was all we had. As Tate Lytle will be coming around to take the white flag here But back to what I was saying, Daniel Martinez finds himself in 12th place. So good run for Daniel Martinez after having issues late there. Is going to try to see if he can rebound to a decent points finish. Tate Lytle now has nothing to worry about other than just to keep the truck straight and on the track. Drivers are plenty far enough behind and not really much of a challenge in front of him. Well, he was your pick, David. He was a strong competitor, battled back and forth with Timmy Holmes, was able to get back in front with hard racing to get his second truck win. Tate Lytle will lock himself into the final 5 and to race for a championship in the truck series. So Tate Lytle is your winner here at Homestead. Fantastic run for Tate Lytle. Definitely had the long run. Pretty much what Tate Lytle is known for is his long run. As he gets a little bit of a tap there by Daniel Martinez as Ethan Burrell comes by and gives him another one. He needs to be able to get back around, boys. Let him celebrate on his own. He decided he might not make it back around. He's going to celebrate there. Well, he wins it in the palm tree track. There you go. Palm tree track here at Homestead. Very good run for Tate Lytle. Now will be the second driver locked in with Timmy Holmes to go for a championship and doesn't have to worry about Talladega. So I'm pretty sure that's what he's most excited about, is that he can go into Talladega without a care in the world. Well, let's go ahead and give ourselves a rundown of our finishers tonight. Some notable drivers that finished fairly well. Obviously, Tate Lytle won it. Alex Vanderson able to come on strong to finish second. Scott Crump able to come to a third place. Timmy Holmes there in the late stages fell back to fourth. Tyler Fodey, with all the damages and how much he was holding up those other drivers, able to stay in fifth place. What if he had gotten up front? I don't know if anyone could have gotten around him. He did such a heck of a job just holding people up. He might have been able to keep the lead if he got up front there. Ethan Stanley came home in 6th. Trey Holmes in 7th. Tyler Dixon in 8th. Sean Ryan in 9th. Joshua Freed had a very good run tonight in 10th. Michael Goodman, after having that wreck on the back straightaway, able to come home in 11th place. Very good run for Michael Goodman there. And as well as Daniel Martinez, 2 drivers that both wrecked in that green flag run and still came back to a very strong run, just outside the top 10. Ethan Burrell in 13th. Dustin Durr fell back there with his strategy to 14th. Brent Jones as well to 15th. Michael Hozak in 16th. Alex Ballvance in 17th. Robert Hill Jr. in 18th. Joshua Hodges in 19th. Harrison Talon in 9 laps down finishes in 20th. That gives you an idea of how crazy and chaotic that first lap wreck was. If 20th place was 9 laps down. Mark Keeler there in 21st. Ray Bracey in 22nd. Brody Moore 23rd. Cody Harrington in 24th. Rasmus in 25th. Jeff Sickles in 26th. Mark Rebus in 27th. Michael Kean in 28th. Zach Evans in 29th. A horrible run for Zach Evans. He will have to go into Talladega and look for a win with that bad finish there. Sam Batwold in 30th and Nick Massey in 31st. Boy, howdy. What a race that was. That was definitely an exciting race. And I would love to be able to get some of these drivers. I think we got Scott Crump here in the waiting room. Let's bring out Scott Crump. Scott Crump, you tried so hard. You definitely looked strong in the very certain points of the race there. But as soon as you lost the lead off of pit road, it was just not good enough to try to get back up to the lead there. Was that ultimately what cost you this win? Was the positions lost on pit road there?
Oh yeah, it was 100% what it cost me. I felt like I had the best truck, and I don't know. There at the end, just played it safe and try to get the most points I can, and didn't want to pit too early and caution come out and be screwed.
Yeah, we saw you lost one to Tate Lytle there, and Tate Lytle was able to stay in front of you. Then Alex Vanderson. What was the difficulties of passing here? Because there were certain points where it looked like passing was, if depending on the line, was easy. But I guess it all was line dependent as to where you were running and where the other guy was running. What was that? Is that kind of what you were seeing out there with the difficulties?
Uh, yeah, for the most part, it was pretty tough to pass. Some people were nice and just gave it to you instead of just fighting. Because you sit there and battle, you lose a bunch of time when you battle each other. So
Well, you still came home in third place. You got a lot of stage points, which is very good for you. You won stage one. You definitely helped your cause to try to see if you could point your way in. But a lot of the other drivers that also were in front of you in point were still having some decent runs tonight. You are by no means locked in going into Talladega. You got Talladega next week. What's going to have to be the strategy going into next week? Because if there was one racetrack I wouldn't want to have to try to point my way through, it's going to be Talladega. What's going? You're gonna be able to sleep, right?
yeah, Talladega's gonna be a mess, and it sucks. It comes down to that race, but it is what it is. I mean, I did the best I could here. Got as many points as I could. Probably could have got a few more, but we'll take the points that we get and the lead that we get, and hopefully we can have a clean race at Talladega and make it to the end.
Wow, we look forward to seeing you. I'd like to see you in the Final Four. Missed out last time, and definitely would love to see you up there in the Final Five, actually. Final Five. Love to see you be able to go to Phoenix with a chance to try to win it. Go ahead and let's hear your shout outs, and hopefully it won't be the last time we hear you for this season.
And get a shout out to my sponsor, Dixon Sports Podcast. Give a shout out to y'all for broadcasting. Give a congratulate Tate on the win and Vanderson at the end. Racing hard right there at the end. Little about even when we came across the line. I almost had him, but he just had that top speed. And give a shout out to my grandparents who watch all the time, and that's about it.
Well,
and White Lightning Racing. Shout out to them too.
Yeah, well, don't forget about your team, or you probably won't be there next year. But congratulations on the third, and hopefully you can survive Talladega, and we'll get to see you at Phoenix once again. So, congratulations here tonight, and yeah, let's see if you can be able to repeat this.
All right, thank you.
That was your third place driver. Let's see if we can get our second place driver, Alex Vanderson. You definitely were the driver that tried more lines than anybody tonight. Did you ever figure out a line that you actually wanted by the end of that race?
No, I was just doing my best Tyler Reddick impression there. That Highline was fun. If we had a bit more of a pack there, it probably could have been more effective for like getting around people. But I mean, you saw how I got that run on Timmy toward the end there, and it was pretty good for defending too. So. I felt good. I felt I could put the truck pretty much anywhere. Once I figured out how to run that top line, it was just like another tool I could use. So, yeah, really, really happy with that. Learned a lot throughout the race too.
Well, you definitely, like I said, one of the craziest lines where you're up high, down low, in all different directions. There, what was it going to take you to get back up to catch Tate Lytle there? It definitely seemed once you got around Timmy Holmes, it was stalled out at that point. Tate Lytle had taken off. Was it just the long runs that kind of was the overall deciding factor for tonight that kind of bit you, or do you feel like there's something else that you could have done to try to see if you can get that late race win there?
Yeah, I mean, I had that mistake right before the pit stops, almost spinning down to the apron. So that cost me a bit of time. And then my pit cycle, I was probably just a little more conservative than I needed to be. So I probably could have gained more on that. And then, one thing I know I struggle with is when I switch to fresh tires after having like a long run, I don't know how to use them as effectively. So it like takes a couple laps to build up that speed again. So that's something to work on, and probably where I lost the most of my time. But yeah, like as I said, I just learned a lot throughout all that race. So yeah.
Well, you're not really running a full-time schedule, kind of are. You show up to a lot of them. Are you going to be here for Talladega next time?
That is the plan. I should be at the rest of these races, and we'll probably be running this full time next season, so that'll be fun. But yeah, right now, just goal is to help Dusty get up into that championship 5, and see what I can do to help him.
Well, Talladega is probably the best way to do it, best track to try to see if you can help somebody, where you can actually play a noticeable part into their chances. So we look forward to seeing how you and Dusty's able to do it. Let's go ahead and hear your shout outs for your team and all your sponsors.
Yeah, as always, big thanks to Do Good Racing. We've put on a really good season so far in all 3 series. So really proud of how we've all improved with that. So yeah, and then big thanks to Miss Goodies Goodies, Happy Trails Chili Company, and Racehorse Broadcasting.
Well, once again, congratulations on second. You definitely raced hard tonight, and you gave it your all. But overall, you came home second. Maybe you can be able to find that last position over at Talladega, or maybe be able to push someone into that position at Talladega. So we look forward to seeing you again next week, and definitely look forward to seeing you next season going for a championship. So we'll be here, and hopefully we'll get to talk to you again.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
That was your second place driver, Alex Vanderson. Fantastic run for. Whoop! You moved me out, David. So I'm back in now. Great run for Tate Lytle. Came home away. The victor, his second truck race win. And the biggest thing that both me and David thought was probably the most important for you is you don't have to worry about Talladega.
Yeah, it's not even a given I'll be home next week at this time. So I was racing a little extra hard, trying to lock myself in. Hopefully I can be here for Talladega, but I mean, even if I'm not, who cares? I guess now, I knew that this was probably gonna be the most important race for me in this round, just because I feel like I could really control my own destiny here, and it's a track that I've had success at before in other series, so feels good to lock myself into that championship 5 and give myself a chance at being the first driver to win all 3 elite NASCAR championships. So we'll have an opportunity to do that here in a couple of weeks, and I think it's pretty cool. I mean, I never really had any success in the truck series, and it took me a long time to get a win. I got a win finally at Kansas earlier in the year, and another one here. I'm interested to see how Phoenix drives in these things with how little horsepower and RPM they carry it. I don't really know how exactly it'll drive at Phoenix, but the first step is done. Now we just got to go execute there and hope we're at the right place at the right time. But got a shout out Dixon's Smoked Meats for sponsoring the series. Days Gone By Vintage Racing Apparel for sponsoring me. Go check out their Twitter handle. They got an Etsy link linked in their Twitter, and they got Brent's got a lot of cool vintage racing apparel on the Etsy store all the time. It's ever changing too. I think he puts new stuff up, at least a couple times a week. So always got to stay updated there. And thank you guys for watching us race fake race cars again, and pretty cool to get a win.
Well, yeah, absolutely. Because you pretty much are. I don't know if you're trying to get out of here so quickly. You did it all before I could ask you. We want to ask you a couple more questions.
It's like he's done this a few times.
I know. It's like he's already won too many times. He doesn't even need the prompting anymore. He just knows what to say, and he's ready to take the check and walk on out. So, Tate Lytle,
you can ask me whatever you want.
Well, I did have a question for you and everything. Are you going to put down any kind of practice laps? You're about the only. There's you and one other driver right now that can actually put down practice times at Phoenix and know confidently that it's going to, play for something. Are you going to put down a bunch of practice laps for Phoenix? What's preemptive strike against some of your other competitors that may be watching, how many are you going to go out there and make sure that you know how to get around Phoenix completely before we get there?
I mean, I'll probably run a few laps. I've done enough laps around Phoenix through the years to where it's really just kind of seeing how the truck's going to drive, not really getting used to the track. I'll probably go do a couple 20-lap runs just to, have a step up before I get into the practice session for the race itself. But I don't know. I mean, you can put as much time in as you want, and if something doesn't quite go your way, you're going to end up disappointed. So, I mean, probably not going to put too much practice laps in. I mean, I say that as I'm downloading Phoenix Raceway again right now. So, but I mean, I'll definitely do some laps just so I kind of have an idea on how it's going to drive. And like I said, with how little RPM these things have, I don't really know what the line's going to be yet. And I mean, I hope we don't have to shift in turn 1, or I guess 3 and 4 now. I really hope we don't have to shift, because that'll probably bug me. But yeah, I mean, I love Phoenix. They had the championship race in the Xfinity car there last year, and I ran pretty well. I've always really just enjoyed Phoenix for whatever reason. Ever since, even the old Phoenix, I loved it too.
Well, you're definitely going to have a leg up, at least being able to practice early like this. So hopefully we can see it play to your benefit over at Phoenix. But hopefully we get to see you at Talladega. We do like to see the wrecks there. That's kind of what the whole point of Talladega is. And you're just kind of like the bonfire, just kind of add a little bit more flame to the fire. So.
Yeah, I mean, if I race, I'll without a doubt get wrecked at some point. Probably cause it, if we're being honest.
Well, that's why we hope you show up to Talladega for sure. So.
Yeah, I'll be playing in a golf tournament on Saturday, and then I'm staying. It's like 4 hours away. Being able to stay up at my sister's house for the night, and then hang out with them a little bit Sunday. And I don't know what time I'll get out of there. I'm sure I'll get out of there in time, but it's not a given.
Well, we hope we get to see you, because we'd love to have a full pack of trucks over at Talladega, and we know
I'm sure they have a full pack of lunatics either way.
Yeah, there's going to be a bunch of people trying to get in for Talladega, and we hope that you're one of them. Just to help out your Pro Edge teammates, which is about half the field, so you might have an advantage.
Yeah, the
over
truck
most
series
of them.
for sure. Yeah.
Well, congratulations once again to you, Tate. Hopefully, again, we'll get to talk to you maybe even at Talladega. If not, we hope to at least talk to you at Phoenix Raceway.
Yeah. I mean, I doubt I talk to you at Talladega, even if I do show up. But hopefully at Phoenix, we'll be having a conversation in the same slot of the interview. Last one up.
There you go. Alrighty, that was your winner, Tate Lytle, here at Homestead Miami Speedway. Came home the victor, the strongest by far on the long runs, and goes and completes the race victory and locks himself in to the 5-player chase at Phoenix in a couple weeks from now. Well, David, I don't know about you, but I had a fantastic time watching these guys, with everything from the craziness on lap 1 to the long runs, the green flag pit stops, the strategy, the hard racing. Even with green flag pit stops here, we didn't even see the drivers really spread out at the front. There was a 4-car battle that was within a second the entire run, and it produced great side-by-side racing. And it just was exactly what Homestead always brings to a NASCAR race, even in real life. So absolutely satisfied with tonight's race.
Yeah, it's a very entertaining track. We were able to get the updated points there if you want to look at them. Last race.
Absolutely. Let's go ahead and see if we can pull that on up for everyone here. So right now it's Tate Lytle locked in, as well as Timmy Holmes locked in. Both drivers locked in on points. And then the 3 other drivers that are in as of right now, Scott Crump, with the fantastic points run he had tonight, finds himself just about, what is that? Just about 40 some odd points above the cutoff line. So
the cutoff line would be, so 29 to 120 is the cutoff. So 18 points above the cutoff.
Yes, 18. Yeah, you're correct. I don't know where I was getting my numbers from. No. Yes.
Yeah. 120 would be where it would end, right?
No, top 5 drivers make it in.
Yeah.
Sir.
Yeah.
And
Tate, Timmy, Scott, Ethan, Sean. Yeah.
Levi Zelensky's 29 points back. So
yeah.
It's 29
so he's 29 points behind 5th place.
Correct. So 29 plus 18.
37.
Thank you.
47.
37 points. He's almost locked in, but not quite. Scott Crump, as well as a win, could push up that cutoff line to only being 18, as we were saying there. So by no means is Scott Crump gonna feel secure with that. Ethan Stanley, one of our rookie drivers, in 4th place there, and Sean Ryan in 5th, 29 points above the cutoff. So it's almost a win, or you're in for a lot of those drivers below the cutoff line there. There's a few of them that still feel that they may possibly make it in on points. Levi Zelensky, Dustin Durr, but drivers like Daniel Martinez, Trey Holmes, Harrison Talon, Tom Bourne. Tom Bourne's going to be one to look at for sure for Talladega. Always a good super speedway. Zach Evans, Alex Ballvain, Justin Munsell there. All those drivers there are going to pretty much have to win Talladega. And guess what? Anybody can win Talladega. It's Talladega. The last driver in points could win Talladega for all we know. I mean, it's just it's one of those tracks that's the ultimate equalizer for sure. So I look forward to it, David. I'm super excited to see what comes of it.
Me too.
Well, once again, we appreciate everyone for tuning into tonight's race. The Homestead Miami Speedway produced an excellent show. We definitely enjoy having my wife, Erica Campbell, and of course, wonderful producer, as always, works really well with me, at least, David Huckleberry. I can't speak for anybody else, but for me, he works just fine. Other than that, we love to do a shout out to all of our sponsors and, of course, all the people watching in tonight. And again, you have a chance to win the Dine and Dash Challenge next week at Talladega as well. So do tune in for a chance to win $10. We appreciate it again. I had a wonderful night. I hope you did too. We'll see you again back at Talladega in the Scott Dixon Smoke Meeks Truck Series.
Not Scott Dixon. He's a PNC bank driver in IndyCar.
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
Tyler Dixon.
Tyler Dixon's. Well, it's just Dixon Smoke Meeks.
No relation.
No real relation. Sorry about that.